Hey, it's Geek Protagonist. With a public service announcement, I guess you can say. I don't know. Whew. Boy, oh boy. Letting this thing get crazy. Anyway, there's a lot of videos I want to do. Like I told you guys all the time, I don't always have the time. So, as such, I'll do them accordingly. This is something I keep running across, and it was on my mind. Yeah. Can we stop this war of subbed versus dubbed? Like, can we? I'm like, seriously. I see so many people. I'm going down my feed, trying to get myself wind down, and I randomly, constantly see someone go, well, I watch subbed and subbed is better. How could you watch dubbed? I don't understand. It's bad. Hey guys, gals, others, guess what? The sub part, that's not translated from the Japanese correct, like, word for word either. Congratulations. Besides the fact that when me and my friends, when we were in Japan and when we were at Akihabara, and I actually did talk to one person while I was looking for a particular statue. I was looking for one of my boy from My Hero, but he wasn't there, that character. Anything of him. Actually found it in the Philippines. The dude even said, while we were talking, spoke very good English. Literally was like, yeah, I've seen your sub stuff. It's not exactly what we said either. But it makes sense, because he was like, and we were talking about it, which I already knew this, because I used to watch subbed anime all the time. And I had my moment where I was like, no, it's subbed, and I would watch it, and then dubbed. And now I mainly just watch dubbed, because I don't feel like always sitting there reading. I mean, I'm looking at a computer screen all day. I'm an adult, got a job, looking, at screens, reading and stuff, and I read, and I just don't feel like watching something and constantly reading too. Sometimes the subs are better in the sense that they may convey the idea a little stronger. Other times the dub is better. I've watched things where I actually prefer the dub's dialogue to say it. What it really comes down to is this. Are you a fan or not? You can't judge if someone's a real fan. And this also goes for the people who are like, oh, sub-dub, the anime sucks. Why aren't you reading a manga? Not everybody likes reading manga. Guilty as charged. It's not that I have a thing against manga. I have a couple. Friends have given them to me. And it's not that I'm not willing to read them for the most part. I have a thing. I like black and white for artistic purposes, like Sin City or Walking Dead. And I understand reading a black and white comic sometimes. Now, that's not to say anything against them. I think Berserk looks amazing. And actually, in the black and white, I've read a little bit and seen the color. It looks great. But most times, the way if I was ever to get interested in a manga, and I've read mangas before, I usually get introduced to the anime. Or I see imagery of them in color. Once I see that, that's how I want to see them. I don't want to see them in black and white anymore. So if I hear about something, like My Hero Academia, for example, when I heard about Hero Academia, my friend introduced me to Attack on Titan, and we watched like the entire first season, and it was great. That's how I saw it. I saw the color, because when we were at, I think, Otakon, it's the first time I ever experienced it. I was like, what's this Attack on Titan thing? And then when we got back, he literally watched, I think we watched the first... Actually, no, it wasn't the whole season. We watched a lot of it, though. We watched the first 10 episodes. I was hooked. And just like everything else, I end up falling off and come back into it later because I like crunching through seasons. I'm weird and busy. but like, it's funny how people try to make wars out of things, right? And this is a little different for me, I guess, because it's different from like DC versus Marvel, or can Saitama beat Superman and Goku? He can't. Get over it. You can say whatever you want. You can't tell me a feat he's done. And don't do that potential argument, because people do that too. But his potential is limitless. Okay. Did he show something like power of blowing up a planet? Goku has. Superman was benching a planet, or at least this is the equivalent of Earth, for like several days. Saitama didn't do any of that. Nothing to that level. That doesn't mean he's weak, but I'm sick of people doing this whole thing with that too. Like, oh, he's just going to one punch No, he's not. Superman can run near the speed of light. Like, stop. Just stop. You've never seen Saitama do something like that. Goku accidentally, him and Beerus fighting almost destroyed the universe that's bigger than ours. Saitama's done nothing like that. Same with Hulk, has done other crazy stuff. So, and like I said, you can say whatever you want. I don't care. I'm right, you're wrong. I go off of, you got to go off the feats. Now, if he turns around and throw, like, you know, that's the whole thing. You going off of the feats, he hasn't done anything. Not saying he can't in the future. He hasn't done anything. But back to the main point. The main point is, it's funny how it's like this elitist attitude where I see people like, well, dubbed, and you're a loser because you watch, you know, or I'm subbed and you're a loser because you watch dubbed. Well, you're both losers because I read the manga. Well, books usually can be better. Sometimes they're not. And also, too, it's to the masses. I prefer not to read manga. I will watch a sub thing if I only can get a sub and I'm really, really interested in the story, or I will wait. I would like to hear in the comments which one do you prefer, but the weird elitist thing, I guess I never understood it, because when I was growing up, that wasn't a thing where people argued about. We were too busy talking about how awesome the show was. Like, I remember Dragon Ball Z. Like, everybody would just talk about it. I had dubbed episodes, you know, when like Tsunami and stuff, but I also had subbed episodes on tape. My boy gave me the whole GT series. I have the whole thing on tapes. The entire series of GT, because I like GT. I don't care what you say, I like GT. Goku Super Saiyan 4 is like one of my favorite, is actually probably my favorite transformation. I even like it over Super Saiyan Blue. I think Super Saiyan 4 is awesome, because it looks completely different from everything else, and it's like a werewolf kind of transformation. But, once again, I digress. I would like to know what you prefer, but at the end of the day, I don't understand this flame war about it, because if you're watching it in original Japanese, there's certain words, certain phrases, certain things that we have that a lot of cultures and a lot of things don't have in their language. So, like when Naruto did Tatabado, I think it was, and in America he was like, believe it! Now, I couldn't stand that, and then people hated the smoker voice. To me, I was just like, Naruto is over here for me. But yeah, like, you can translate it, get something, and maybe you don't like that translation or you don't like that thing. Trying to think of an anime I prefer subbed. I can't think of one right now. Oh, I can think of one. I actually liked 8 Man. And 8 Man After, I actually liked it more subbed than dubbed. I just liked it more. So it's kind of one of those things where, you know, I can switch depending on what it is, but for the most part, as I've gotten older, I've realized I just rather watch dubbed and just be done with it. I don't want to read it. I just want to hear it, get the story, whatever. But if I'm a fan of it, like My Hero Academia, you're a fan of My Hero Academia, and someone else is, I find it weird that you fight about, well, which version is better, which makes you think you're superior. I guess that's where I'm confused with. I don't understand the idea of the superiority. Because it's like, why do you think you're superior because you watch it in a different format? That's like me saying, if you're watching it in 720 and I'm watching it on 4K, yeah, the 4K may look better, you know, brighter or whatever, but at the end of the day, did we both get the same story? Well, mine looked better though and was louder. Okay, but they watched it in 720. They got the story, they seemed fine with it, they got it in color, they saw all the colors and stuff, yours just looked a little better. But that makes me better. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, really think about it. Like, I watch it in Japanese, but I read the English thing and I start to learn Japanese words. Some of them. You learn some of them, because trust me, we actually did see somebody try to use anime Japanese from America when we was in the door to time. Oh, that was funny, because the dude looked at him and was like, You watch American anime, don't you? And it was hilarious. Because the dude was saying stuff, but not all those things were there. But he watched so much anime that it like translated to him that way. And so he learned Japanese. It's not that the guy didn't understand him fully, but there was words missing. It's probably similar. I'm going to guess maybe it's similar to like someone who speaks Portuguese, that maybe from Brazil, versus somebody who speaks Spanish from like Puerto Rico. They can understand each other, but certain phonetics and things are going to be a little different. It's going to sound a little weird. It's going to sound a little broken. Or like a British person and an American talking, but like they'll say something like, oh, they're all sixes and sevens. Like stuff like that, you know? Little terms. So I think that the whole sub-dub manga war is a little weird compared to a lot of the other things. Like I can understand if you go, well, DC's better because of this and Marvel. Like there's a side there, but you're all consuming the same product. You're just consuming it differently. And even so, you think your thing is the superior. Well, even with the manga, unless you're reading the Japanese, you're not even doing that. Like you're still reading an English translation. I guess that's where the confusion comes in. All of it is an English translation. Yeah, the dub may say a phrase differently because of depending on the culture and how the cultures are, because Japan has certain cultural things that are not like us. And maybe when they do the dub, the person or the people who are dubbing it may be a little closer to the language and deciding to do it that way. But that's not how that exactly works. And sometimes the dubs and some of them actually are translated better. And it just does it a little different. Also, I think they do it that way. So if you decide to watch it again, because I've watched, like I said, for example, I've watched Dragon Ball in subbed and dubbed. Especially when I was younger, I was like a nut for Dragon Ball stuff. So I watched it subbed and dubbed. And it gave me two different kind of feels a little bit because of certain story things, certain things they would say and do. Same point, but a different way of seeing it. So I was rewatching something and getting a different experience. So I was like getting double the treat. That's how I always viewed it. But like I said, y'all tell me what you think. I don't know. I mean, right now, the last few years, I prefer dubbed. But if you go back 15 years ago, I preferred subbed. But I would watch dubbed. And now I prefer dubbed and I'll watch subbed. And I still feel the same way about manga. I'll read it if you give it to me, but it doesn't hit me the same way. It's just I'm not a big fan of manga compared to like reading a regular American comic book or Italian comic book or something like that. Just because of how the setup is. But it's not saying I will refuse to. And if you tell me, hey, you should really read this manga, I've read them and I've been okay with them. It's just not my preferred method. Key protagonist, you stay safe, you stay healthy, you stay real. And like I said, tell me in the comments, what do you prefer? Sub, dub, manga, all three? Just want to know. See ya.